Alright, I think. I think I. So. Okay, so. Alright, so Neostar's in the chat. Hey, Neostar. Speaking of which, don't we have any news about the Mythoverse that we should take care of first? Yep. Yes, Gorgonite, sometimes we do. Sometimes we're at least professional, especially when Dad's not here. So, Gorgonite says that I'm the only one he can properly hear. Okay, so, talk everyone else. Yeah, because it says that you guys are coming on clear on the audio. That's weird because there's no background noise to hear. I have a pop filter on my microphone, so I don't know what to say. Why is it always like this when Gorgonite shows up?
Yeah, what he said.
Okay, is
So
everyone
what I
clear?
think, in my professional opinion, I think Jan should write down every last minutia of his setup, email it to you, and then you follow that to the
Well,
letter.
well, that's the thing. I don't do anything with the setup. It was already there.
Yeah,
You
Dan.
follow
Yeah,
that
Dan had
to
Well,
the
this.
letter.
well, that's
Dan
the
had
thing.
everything
I
ready
don't
to
do
set
anything with the
up.
setup.
We just had to
It was
log in
already
with
there.
the Mythoverse account. He had it set up so that we wouldn't have to do anything.
Every last minutia.
Okay, it was already there.
Well, I
All
mean,
right.
I guess I meant with all of your
Well,
computer setups,
it looks like it's
because
fixed
it
now.
doesn't.
All right. All right. I'm gonna mute myself and I'm gonna mute myself and then see if I can hear
Then
anything.
yeah, it's working now.
You fixed it. Okay, good. We're fixed.
Yeah.
So, so,
I,
so what was the problem?
well, apparently, even though it was picking up my audio on the Yeti, it went over to another USB, which shouldn't have done anything. It shouldn't have made anything different.
Okay, new rule. Before we like an hour before, like a couple out, like 2 hours before we go live, we check the settings just to make sure nothing is fucked up.
Yeah.
That's our new rule.
At the very least, it was probably the update that screwed it all up.
This is why we should check then.
This is the riveting content you can only get here at the Mythoverse.
Which, by the way, as of Saturday, is off to the printers, and you can expect to be in your hands in December at the earliest.
Pop that baby open and get that comic book smell.
Only 3 months late for physical, which is
Hey, well,
which is a lot faster than some others.
I would say at least it makes the best Christmas present.
Yes, it does. Ooh, Mythoverse Christmas art contest.
Okay, yeah, that we got to do that. What do you guys feel like? What design a Christmas card?
Oh, that would be adorable.
Matt, does Redbubble allow for card designs?
Yes.
I mean, for greeting card designs?
Does Redbubble allow for knit sweater designs?
No.
I don't think they do, but they do allow. But they do allow for greeting card designs, which we can totally do with that. Gorgonite says better than being a year and a half late. I'm sure that has nothing. I'm sure that has nothing to do with anything.
Nobody at all.
No, I don't see the connection between any real world events that could be relating to.
No, I can't. I mean, about
Ribbit?
the only people who I can name off the top of my head who were super late on a crowdfunder were B. Claymore and Richard Pace.
I don't know who those people are.
Rob Liefeld too. Actually, I don't think he's even set up on Indiegogo for that same project.
Oh yeah, that's right, he did. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna say Richard Pace and B. Claymore, they're never gonna deliver on their Kickstarters. Never.
Which is why you'll never see another Kickstarter from them, because they actually Kickstarter actually enforces the rules.
Yup. And Willie he decided to climb to my lap again.
He saw that you were busy with something very important and decided that was the time.
Well, he's a cat. They just do what they want. Have you ever tried telling a cat what to do, Alabaster?
I've tried doing it in a very intimidating and loud manner, and I find that usually works. Whether or not the owner enjoys that is another issue.
I'm just trying to keep him away from my earbud cord.
Did I ever tell you about the story of my friend's cat
Hey,
named
might as well.
Tyrone? So for a while we were having it at one of our having D&D nights at one of our friends' houses. Well, technically we were playing Pathfinder, but whatever. And he has he has like 2 cats and dogs and horses. This is Texas, everyone. Some people do that just because.
Hey, my dad grew up on a beef ranch down in Texas, so yeah.
Well, this isn't even a ranch. They just have horses because they can.
They got the land as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, he one of the cats, one of the 2, is named Tyrone, and he's very fat. And one day,
Please tell me he's an orange tabby.
when we went there, somebody gave the cat a shot. I'm like, "What's the shot for?" It's like, "Oh, well, he has diabetes." And I'm like, "Oh, poor kitty." And he's really chill, very relaxed. The only thing he does kind of do that's annoying is he'll get in a chair that you're about to use and like no. But now, do you guys remember the Wilford Brimley commercials for the diabetic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Diabetes.
Exactly. And so, as a joke, I started calling the cat Diabetes,
Oh,
and I used the voice too, and so every day I'm like, "How you doing, Diabetes?" And when he was in my chair, I was like, "Get on out of my chair, Diabetes." This went on for like a month, and our DM was trying to get the cat's attention one day, and said,
diabetes, and it worked.
"Well, hold on." He is actually tried to say, Tyrone, Tyrone, come here. And Tyrone, I think, knew he was talking to him, but he wasn't really responding. He was just kind of looking in our general direction. But he was sitting because he's lazy, which is probably why he has diabetes.
Please tell me Tyrone is an orange tabby.
No, he's some kind of black with white underbelly and white paws.
I think that's called a tuck. That sounds like Willy. I think that's called a tuxedo cat.
Maybe. I just call it a cat. But our DM was like, come here, Tyrone. Tyrone, come here. I want to pet you. Tyrone, come here. And I'm just like, get on over here, Diabetes. And the cat just immediately gets up and walks over to him. So I managed to get the cat to think that its name was Diabetes now.
I just want everyone to know the whole time Alabaster's been telling that story, Willie has probably bitten me at least 4 or 5 times right now.
You what?
The whole time you've been telling that story, Willie play bit me at least 4 or 5 times. Biting because none of his bites actually draw blood.
So is his owner around less often than you?
My roommate, it's not that he's around less often. It's just that I think what happened was he went on vacation one week, and I was the only human in the house. And and up until this point, he had been a pretty skittish cat.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of happened with me and my dog Foxy. We were getting new floors installed in the house, painted all over, and I was the only one who, for whatever reason, like kind of gave her time and tried to play with her.
Mm-hmm.
She's a rescue and had been really intimidated by most of us for the longest time. Got over it with most everybody else except for me. But because during those like 2 months, I tried to interact with her when everybody else was understandably too busy dealing with, with their innovations and stuff. She took a shine to me now, and now she has a routine every morning where, she'll go outside. Well, she'll go to the door to be let outside to do her business. Come back in, immediately go down the hall and kind of whine and do tippy taps until she's let into my room and hopping into my bed.
Yeah, he just likes hanging around. He likes to hang around in my room. He likes using my chair as his bed. And he's just, yeah. As Chad put it, he decided I'm his human. Yeah. Mhm. Okay, but yeah, Mythoverse Christmas contest. Yeah, I'd say like design a greeting card. Alright, and winner goes up on the red bubble.
Yep. Is there,
What do you?
is there any kind of
What's
winner that we could probably call out, this week?
Oh yeah, but just one thing, and just gotta work out a deadline for that. And I'm thinking that as far as the greeting card contest goes, should probably have it in by let me double check. Have it in by the 26th. That seems like a good time.
Of November?
Yeah, just get the. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
so we can put it up on the red bubble for Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because when you said it, I was like, he doesn't mean the day after Christmas, does he?
Obviously not.
Happy late Christmas. Well, I guess it would work for all the people who keep their trees up because they're too lazy to take them down.
Okay, I'm back.
Mick Foley has an entire room that is nothing but Christmas decorations. I'm not making the. I saw that in a documentary called "I Am Santa Claus," which was just about the three guys who are who do mall Santas for a living, I think. And yeah, Mick Foley decided one year he wanted to. Don't you play with that? No. Hey, oh, you want to go down this road? Hold up. Okay. I'll be right back.
He really needs to keep that cat out of his room during the stream.
You know what reminds me? I still need to write up that audio review. There's a script and characters.
God damn it! He got away from me and ran under my bed, so I'm just gonna have to catch him when he.
Yeah, you're gonna have you're gonna have to lock him outside of your room when we're doing.
I know. Like I'm just going to have to put him outside when he tries jumping into my lap again. All right.
Maybe lure him out with treats. Oh my gosh, Foxy recognizes the sound of the pepperoni bag being handled, the crinkly sound it makes, and she will come and just start barking at me because I'm not taking out the pepperoni fast enough. Dylan's dog is like, I heard you were streaming and I came as fast as I could.
Speaking of that, guess who won the Me 6 contest again?
Me, for like
yes.
the sixth time in a row.
I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it's the 6th time in a row. This is probably the longest you've held the streak. Ha! Take that! Now I got the. He went out on his own.
He just freaking went.
Yeah, he went out the bedroom on his own. Okay, now we're good.
I would clap for you, Dylan, but I have push to talk on, so I only have one hand free.
He was clapping right now.
He is clapping right now. Yeah, I mean, like we're about to finish the year off with having the books in hand. How awesome is that?
That's a pretty big accomplishment
Pretty awesome.
right there.
And we should probably try for 2 issues next year.
Really think so?
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We can't keep on doing an issue a year, so.
Well, obviously not.
You'll be done with the first arc by the time you're like 50.
Yeah. Isn't that gonna be exciting?
Nah, I think they're gonna chug things along. Won't take too long to
Be
get
like
to
85
point.
years old. Oh my goodness, here it is, the first crossover event of the Mythoverse finally in the mail. Mildred, where are you? Where'd I put my reading glasses? Mildred?
Yeah, well, the unfortunate thing about that is we'll probably end the Mythoverse if that came.
Man, I just can't believe it. It's so cool that you guys have come so far.
Yep.
It's I guess it'll be a while before I jump in, but that'll give me plenty of time to like get everything prepared.
Yeah, there's the thing. If we don't move faster, you guys won't get your chance.
It is right.
Yeah,
I certainly don't want that.
Oh, yeah.
I think what I'll do is that I'll just get everything done beforehand, so I won't have to worry.
Good idea.
Because my own book I'm doing myself.
Hmm.
Like I'm literally just putting everything together myself.
The dream, however, would be to get off of having to rely on Kickstarter.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, just use Kickstarter and just maybe even fuck. I even think ideally would be good to get off, not have to rely on Patreon either.
If it's anything, we're gonna need to put together our own subscription system. Hire a programmer to get all that done.
Right.
Yeah, hopefully we'll figure that out as we go on. Because I mean, if anything, this has kind of been us sort of learning as we go. To be honest, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, it's. I have to want. It just occurred to me. I mean, like, it was about how long has this kind of been in the works? To be honest, Matt. I mean, like, we did not. I don't think we started putting this thing together with Dan like a year ago. It was like
It was actually over a year ago because I remember we were back when.
Yeah, I know, back when we were in the Slack channel, but it feels like it was longer than that to me.
Well, it has been longer than a year because I commissioned Hawkart for At Peace to be a Halloween surprise.
That was, yeah. Do you remember what year that was?
Last year.
It really was last year.
Yes.
God, why does it feel like we kind of came up with the idea, at least kind of started even before that?
Because of all the work we had to do. That 1 month with the Kickstarter probably felt like a year.
It was probably one of the longest months of my life. I'll say that.
There you go.
Yeah, so it really was. Man, we started this little adventure pretty much a year ago.
Yep.
Yeah, it's.
And it all started with a commission piece.
And Gorgonite Phase 3 will be coming around before a certain comic. Like second part comes out.
Neo starts out for what it's worth. The resume pages I showed you guys were paid for out of pocket. Yeah, well, at least you're doing that right. Yeah.
That's how it always begins.
Yeah. The only problem with out of pocket is unless you're making any making like I would say $5,000 a year, probably even more than that. I mean, $5,000 a month. I mean, I would say even more than that.
Well, maybe for you, but
Look,
I'd probably say
unless
for me it'd be about 2.6 grand.
I say $5,000 a month just because I need at least $2,000 to live off of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, $3,000 could take care. $3,000 could take care of Victor and Ginger. I need the rest is from me.
Of course, there's you're also going to need to factor in money to put into the company.
There's also that too, but the paying out of pocket. I mean, like, yeah, it will get done. But depending on how much you make a month, that's going to affect your speed. So about that, especially if you want to go monthly.
Oh yeah.
Actually, kind of makes me wonder if the monthly title is going to be sticking around much longer.
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, if you look at how much more you already have you got with the Franco-Belgian model?
I think that the monthly. I think ultimately indies will probably just do that instead of monthly titles because we don't make that much money.
Yeah. So, Alabaster, the way La Bande Dessinée, which are Franco-Belgian comics, work is the creators will put out like 1 or 2 books a year, but that will like be enough to get them through the whole year. I think
it's really unfortunate that the American industry is the way it is, because it means that like making a living off of doing this is probably going to be not possible for most people.
Well, definitely not at the indie level. I think the problem was that the big two really set the standard for the industry, for better and for worse.
Yeah. Now they're really lowering it.
When I say set the standard, I mean set the standard for how things work.
Right.
Quality is a different thing.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that for as bad as the big two are, at least they're not Harmony Gold.
Oh my god.
Now I'm mad, and I'm not even a fan of that franchise, Macross.
Well, it's because they're just gonna sit on that copyright just to sell merchandise and not do any shows.
Well, they're hardly selling merchandise. You know, the thing about copyright is that if you don't do anything with it, it gets taken away.
Yep.
It's like, what are they going to do? Press no DVDs of Robotech? It's like everybody knows what the story behind it now.
Well, there's always new fans that they're going to try to get reached, but they're not going to do that unless they've got it on TV. Or some kind of streaming network. And I think they're really it's a really bad idea for them to go with Funimation, because most of the Funimation viewers won't go to and watch Robotech. And I do not recommend the Macross dub, because that is shit.
You know, if manga is doing
EA is happy to announce that they are partnering with Harmony Gold.
You know, if
the nightmare continues.
You know,
doesn't manga print from week to week though?
Well, it depends, because you have the weekly titles, and then you have the monthly titles. Stuff like Shonen Jump is weekly, and then you got some of the more mature stuff, like say Vagabond. That's a monthly title.
Manga is also a lot more streamlined, where you typically have like at least 4 people on staff rather than just like 2 or 3 for American comics. And then of course you don't need to color it; you just need a
Yeah, there's the occasional.
textures.
There is the occasional colored issue, but yeah,
an occasional.
I mean,
You
there's the
know,
occasional
yeah,
colored
they'll
chapter,
have
but
an
yeah.
entire team so that they can keep producing content.
if manga's doing better than comic books, we could always release like a Japanese translation of the Mythoverse comics.
Maybe the only problem with the manga industry though is that it can be is just how fucking brutal it can be though.
Oh yeah.
It could be released like a doujin kind of, but you know, in an official doujin where it's
Yeah, but still, but yeah, I mean, like, does it? I mean, like, everyone knows just like how, like, that there are cases in Japan where people have literally worked themselves to death.
right. Oh my God, Wicked! Stop farting! Jesus Christ! Like he's just been doing this lately. He coughs and he farts.
So and the Japanese anime industry is pretty corrupt as well because, oh boy, you know how much money the manga creator gets for the adaptations? Just one check. There's no royalties.
Yeah, that freaking sucks.
Yep. I found this out because the creator of Gintama kept on getting tired of condescending remarks about how he lives in a mansion because of how well his manga is doing, and he goes, "Nope, that's not true. I don't get any royalties from the anime or the merchandise."
That's insane.
Yep.
I know Ken Akamatsu was talking a few years back about he actually stopped producing Negima and started GQ Holder because of some legal issue that was going through the Japanese Parliament at the time regarding creators' rights. And I wish I knew Japanese because it'd be fun to talk to him about, like, you know, kind of how that industry works, because he's very involved with not just the industry itself, but like various legal copyright aspects and how it.
I know how to speak
that.
Japanese. Omae wa mou shinderu.
You speak Weepanese.
I speak Weebanese.
Now Ken will do like 2 pages a day, but that's literally just him drawing the characters and I think the panels. He doesn't do the back. He'll just like kind of do a quick doodle of the background, and then like somebody else inks everything, and then somebody else does the tones, and somebody else does the speech bubbles, and somebody else does the lettering. You know, it's almost like an
assembly line.
Yeah, that's it. Assembly line. And it produces, generally speaking, I know that we as Americans there's like a filter almost of stuff that comes over here, but generally speaking, quality content at a fairly decent pace for the consumer. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are willing to spend more on manga is that, like, we know this thing's going to keep coming. And there's going to be some consistency behind. Whereas, you know, with American comics, it's like, well, is the artist going to change, or are they going to change writers because somebody from top down, you know, decided to? I'm talking about the big two. I mean, not necessarily. Indie comics do tend to be more consistent, with, at least as far as writing goes. Obviously, people come and go as far as artists, but yeah, it's DC and Marvel specifically. If they want to actually make money on their comics branch, and I'm not sure Time Warner or Disney actually cares, but if they do are going to have to look at the manga model and start asking themselves hard questions. Why are they kicking our ass like this?
There's some things worth taking from the manga industry, and this is but this is something that I don't know if a lot of people really understand. Yeah, manga is kind of like is technically a form of comics, but it is a different industry with a different audience and a different way of doing things. Like, there's actually very little overlap between comics and manga.
That's true. Most people I know who are into comics are not into manga, and vice versa.
Yeah. Now, that being said, one thing I would think, a couple things I do think are worth taking from manga is that, and something I wish comics did more of, maintained a consistent creative team for titles.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, except for that Tom King thing, I'm glad he's not on Batman anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bat cut.
Hey, at least
Yeah.
At least the White Knight series, it has consistency.
Oh yeah.
Saw Gordon Murphy getting both writing and art. I think he gets paid. I remember seeing a while back the pay rate for someone who does both writing and art, and it's somewhere around $1,000 per page.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
$1,000 for what?
What? Oh, 1,000 per page.
And assuming it's a 24-page issue, man, he's making $2,400 a month. That's actually not
24,000. 24,000.
Alabaster, what is this? Why did you give me 50 pages? No.
Oh wait, yeah. Oh, I'm stupid. Yeah, He's making 24 grand a month. Yeah, that's actually good money.
Jesus. Jeez,
That's like 300,000 a year or more.
Probably.
I need to get like professional quality good,
And
I think I'm already there, but I mean,
the first white. Go on.
I just damn. I mean, I wish I could make that much money, you know, doing that. Like, I need to like get on hit like Sean Gordon Murphy's level, where it's just like where he's just so good at like how he draws.
Yeah, and there's 8 issues for the first one.
Does he get a kickback Does he get a kickback on the royalty sales, or does DC own all that?
It's probably they own all that. Okay, so
Huh?
okay, so it's 26 pages per issue.
Okay, now just one thing. Does Sean Gordon Murphy? Okay, like after they paid him for the issue, is that it, or does he get like some kind of royalty kickback for it?
I don't think it's royalty
Yeah, fuck.
because that's their IP technically. So
Yeah, true. So yeah, okay.
Stock options.
Well, if you're making $26,000 off a single issue, yeah, you've probably got quite a few investment options.
yeah, in his case, cars. And
So Sean Gordon Murphy is essentially the Jay Leno of comics.
pretty much because have you seen that tattoo he has on his right hand?
Yeah, it's a stick shift.
Yeah. I think that tells you a lot about what he likes.
Oh yeah, I saw that where he was holding the sword or whatever. Dude's jacked.
The rapier. Yeah, the rapier.
Yeah, he had that commission too. So imagine him making enough money that you can commission a sword for you to use as
Just
a
for your
reference material.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a cruciform rapier at a local antique store. Should probably pick that up. It was pretty cheap.
Really? How much?
I think less than $50. I mean, I doubt it's like authentic or anything.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, if it was a real rapier, there's no way you'd be paying $50 for that.
By the way, I'm pretty sure Gorkai was referring to when you guys were doing the Japanese in person, talking Japanese. He says Fucking weeb.
Maybe.
No, that's why. Oh, yeah.
$50 means it's probably a fake Gorgonite, not shit.
And yes, Neostar is right. Crowdfunding is necessary for indie careers.
I don't know. Have you looked
yeah.
at Brian's Twitter lately?
Yeah, but he's also got a pretty good job too.
Yeah, I'm not starting my webcomic until I get like a decent paying job, because there's no way I'm going to be able to support myself with that. Well, not and have enough time to make it.
Well, it's
Oh,
it sounds like
Oh,
it's
no,
more Say what?
I was just thinking I had some stuff to say about the DC reboot, but I kind of want to wait until Dan's here.
Ah. Well, that probably won't be for a while, so
Uh,
remind us so that we can remind you.
mhm.
Okay. When is Dan coming back? Do you know?
I think he said like once Jen's recovered from surgery.
Let's see. I
Have
think
surgery? I didn't know that.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm pretty sure he said when that was.
And I think he just said when. He didn't give an exact date.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, but kids and all.
Well, yeah, not just that. They also moved into a new house, and it's crunch time at his job.
Yep. So that means that's gonna be incredibly stressful for him.
Yeah, but Jen's still posting inside the Discord, so looks like she's doing okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, it looked a lot more like England than Texas today.
Really?
Well, did you have to give them your ID for buying butter knives?
Huh?
No, I think he said it was just. I think he means it was like foggy or some shit.
Ah.
Foggy, drizzling.
Yeah, it was. We had a dense fog warning this morning when I woke up.
Jeez. It was really cold here in Michigan.
Yeah, well, it's about to be winter.
Isn't it colder in Michigan than it is in England, even though it's further south?
It might be. I don't know. Yeah, still, one thing I kind of want to get back on is when Neil Star said crowdfunding isn't necessary for indie careers because we don't have the luxury of a company covering the production costs. I mean, there has to be a better way because, for one, crowdfunding only gets you so far. And it's like, and I know I'm not the first person to point this out, but it's not sustainable.
No, it's not sustainable. And I should probably stop before I wax lyrical about the decline of Western civilization and how that goes into economic.
Yeah, it's just. No, I mean, I think, for one, I think John De La Rosa at least has the right mindset with it. He only uses crowdfunding to cover art costs and nothing else.
Which is why he's able to put out quarterly basically, he's doing the monthly run for his comics.
Yeah,
So that tells you a lot about what he wants to do in terms of changing the industry.
So, what? Just run quarterly or crowdfunders just to get 2 or 3 issues done.
I think in the case of doing it as the bundles that we have, it's too soon for that.
Yeah.
Might as
Most
well.
definitely.
I just do another Kickstarter, see how far we'll go. If that does well, then we could probably try getting doing another 3 issues for each. Do separate campaigns.
Well, I think one thing we could at least consider for the next Kickstarter is like if we make our goal early, we make funding the next the third issues of our respective books a stretch goal.
Yep. In my case, I'm going to. I think one of the first stretch goal would be to fix issue 1.
I promise I'll be nice in the review.
You can't say anything worse than what Brian Paul says.
Who?
Rags.
Bryant
Oh.
or John
Did you
or
say
John Delarose.
Didn't you say it was like it's all right with regards to I think what was Changeling?
He said it.
And that was
He
high
said
praise.
Changeling got it didn't suck. And back, can you quit moving around in your chair? I'm hearing it creak.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I might want to put some WD-40 on that.
But yeah, Brian gave what Brian gave the rating Brian gave for Changeling was it didn't suck, and I said like coming from him that's practically an Oscar.
But for the most part,
At the Academy Awards, I'm going up there and be like, and the Oscar goes to here you go. Hands it off and just walks off stage and goes.
Something like that. It's just it's more like Brian is very particular with his tastes. Like about the only crowdfund one of the only crowdfunded books I think he actually gave like a holy fucking shit rating to was Brand, because to hear him tell it was that good.
That's a pretty good rating.
Oh, I got to talk to a lot of people about Mythoverse at the convention the other day.
Yeah, actually, how about you talk about that? How did that go?
So it was called a mini-con, which is apparently this more low scale event where it's like a lot more personal as far as like
So it's like what, a couple hundred people?
interaction and stuff.
So like what, only a couple hundred
something
people?
like that. Yeah. Vic was there. Let's see who else.
I think you said the
Frieza's
best
old
Bulma voice.
actress. Yeah. The older Bulma was actually, now that I think about it, all of them were people who Funimation kind of gave the boot to as far as Dragon Ball roles. I was like, oh, we're going with somebody else. Go away now.
Be gone, thought.
And everybody was super happy to see him, and it kind of makes me wonder how many people go into the lines with people, who've replaced them. Probably not as much.
Right. Just like what the hell?
And
Like
they were all super nice, though. I got Stephanie Nuttleny's autograph on the season 6 Fox, the one where Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2, which was like my favorite moment of the series.
yeah.
She was my Gohan, and I remember I think I was either watching a clip from Kai or playing one of the video games, and it wasn't her voice, and I'm like, what happened to Gohan? Where's Gohan?
Yeah, like what the hell? You have like this really like unique voice, like for this character, and you're just like what the
From
hell?
the sounds of it, I saw an interview. From the sounds of it, she was kind of like hurt by that decision, and she wasn't really given any much of a notice about it. It was like, oh, you're not Gohan anymore. It's like, oh.
Yeah, like, and then they replaced her with Luffy. replace Gohan with Luffy? Like there's not any calling Clinkenbeard. She doesn't do a good Gohan voice. You know, she doesn't have that kind of
That raspiness.
right.
I'll give Clinkenbeard credit. The initial yell for when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2, it kind of came like deeper from within the chest. I want to say, it sounded like it was like "Ah," as opposed to the "Ah," from. I guess you'd have to actually see it from them. And that was kind of nice, but it's still, it's not my Gohan. It's not the same.
Not my Gohan. We need to make
Hashtag
Gohan
not my Gohan. You know, it's just it's the voices I grew up with, and so it's just doesn't sound right when it's, you know, somebody different.
That's fair, I guess. But you said like you managed to talk to people about the Mythoverse. Like, if you had to ballpark it, how many?
I think like 4 or 5.
Didn't even see all that. They didn't see all that interested.
Huh?
Did any of them? Did any of them seem interested?
Yeah. In fact, some of them were also working on their own like webcomics and stuff.
Really?
So they that kind of like me. Oh, another webcomic, you said, or another their indie created comic.
That's also. No, that's also that is really good. That's at least promising.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I didn't get to talk to any of the VAs about it, because you know they were busy with stuff. But yeah, they were all having conversations with, you know, other people and fans, and that's what was really cool about it, is they just got to like chill with fans basically. You know, it wasn't like this like constant stream of just lines, and everybody kind of having to like, you know, rush through.
Right.
It was more like, you know, spontaneous interaction and stuff. That was really cool.
Man, imagine getting like one of those voices for like the Mythoverse, like as a cameo or something.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool, because
Like having Stephanie
going on this thing called Prince Adventures.
Like
which is
having
an
Stephanie
indie-
Nadolny like make an appearance, or you know, do a voice cameo as a character. Like, holy crap! That's like way like outside of her budget.
Mate. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. It's just I kind of. I mean. Yeah, I got no opinion on it. I mean, to be honest.
It
Yeah.
was kind of cool though, like you know, Linda Young,
Oh,
Stephanie, you know, all of they can
Yeah.
all like still do the voices. In fact, especially with Bulma's VA, it was like when she was just talking, she was talking about like some sort of like voice acting vocational school, I want to say. Not really sure how it works. That she and some other people were setting up. You listening to her voice, I'm like, oh my god, it's Bulma's talking.
Right.
You-
I'm sorry,
you know,
Monica Rial is not a good Bulma.
I regret the post that I made on Twitter because it was very mean spirited, but I still stand by the actual opinion that she does sound way too Californian. For Bulma, like I get that Bulma, especially like in, you know, earlier in the series, she's very kind of like annoying bratty teenager, but like Monica Rial's Bulma sounds like an adult who also sounds like an annoying bratty teenager who's also kind of loud. And
Hey,
it just
does anyone
works
hear
better.
that?
I'm pretty sure that's Yo.
No, it's not on my end.
Yeah. Do you keep tapping on? What are you
No, I'm
tapping
not.
on?
I'm not
your mic or
tapping on
something?
anything. It sounds like it's coming from from someone else because it's. I'm hearing it through my.
Okay, what if I mute? Wasn't
All
me.
right.
Well, I didn't hear anything.
I didn't either.
I mean, I figured it was just Dylan like tapping on his desk or something at some point.
No, I'm laying back.
Well, that's really weird.
Okay.
Huh.
I'll try and be careful just in case.
Yeah.
All
I don't
right.
hear anything now.
Yeah, same.
We'll say this though. What gets talked to me about trying to get O to Emerald City Comic Con up in Seattle?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's the only. Yeah, that's the only question is whether or not I'll have the time to go.
I got tickets to HarmonyCon 3 days, so hopefully I'll have time in February to actually go because I got a 3-day ticket and that'd be really
I'm only able to go in at cons like around Central Texas, so I'm very limited.
Where are you?
Uh, I'm in Hewitt. It's over by Waco,
I don't think it's
Texas.
too far from Collin County.
I mean, but yeah, I mean,
I wish you could have gone to the con the other day. I literally only heard about it like the night before when I was at work.
Oh wow. Yeah, the biggest Comic Con I ever went to was San Antonio. Yeah, and that's the first, and that's the one I.
Wait,
That's
what
the
time of
first
year
one I
was
went
it?
to professionally. To sell artwork.
What time of year was the one in San Antonio?
I think it was during the summer.
Oh. San Antonio's in like a bowl and it just collects heat.
Yep. Yeah, I've been to San Antonio 2 or 3 times, I think.
I've been there twice. Once as a little kid and once a few years ago on a family just trip to San Antonio.
Yeah, the
I
last.
want to say it's like a 3-hour drive from Dallas area.
Yeah, I believe the last time I went was yeah, it was for the Comic Con, and yeah, we had a friend there. Her name was Sean. I believe I told you about my family friend Sean. She died like a year late, about a year later.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she was a
That's
yeah,
news to me.
yeah, like holy crap! Like I had only known her like uh for about a year, about 2 years, and then she was just gone. Like she went with us to San Antonio for the Comic Con thing. I gotta tell you, like losing someone, like someone you like even though I only knew her for a short time, it's like it really felt like she was family. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it, yeah, and then she died of cancer, and it's like stuff like that. It changes you. I guess it kind of puts you in reality a little more. Sorry to make the stream depressing.
Okay, so well,
Changing subjects.
first and only con I've actually attended so far was Shudokan. Yeah, it was Shudokan, and it was in Lansing back when I lived in Michigan, which Matt told me is no longer around.
Nope, they apparently mismanaged their money, so they went bankrupt.
Oof.
Yeah, how long ago was that?
A couple years ago now. Yep.
Would have been weird if I'd showed up to the last Shudokan ever.
It would be.
First con I ever went to was in the 90s. I was very little. was like 6 or 7, and it was like a joint Star Wars Star Trek convention at the Plano Convention Center. Uh, Nothing even anywhere near as interesting has ever happened at that convention center since. Uh, and then I went to ACON when I was in high school, Anime Fest, either in my last year of high school or first year of college. And then HarmonyCon earlier this year in February. I think that's it. Oh, and this last mini convention this past weekend.
There was one convention that I wanted to end up getting shut down because the guy running the convention got arrested in Florida for sexual assault or molestation.
Oh,
And-
I thought I was going to hear a Florida man story.
Nope.
Well, it's not really a Florida man story.
Yeah, it was more of an Ohio man story.
Uh,
But that opened the floodgates of a number of stories that happened with this guy. And since the person that he allegedly he had molested a child in Florida.
Ooh.
So yeah, there were all these open. It was kind of like Harvey Weinstein, where there was all these open rumors, open secrets about him, about how he'd give minors alcohol at convention parties.
Okay, question. This is not. This isn't the ASIN. This isn't ASIN, right? Because as far as I know, ASIN's still around, isn't it?
ASIN's in Chicago. And this is
Right.
Anime Punch,
Chicago.
which is what is called. It was called the Anime Convention for College Students, and how they wanted to create an intellectual convention.
How bourgeois.
Well, that should have been the first red flag for people. The intellectual anime convention. Like, can you think of anything more? Can you think of anything more stupid?
The galaxy
They
brain.
tipped at each other.
Look,
I was just gonna
you had to drink wine to show how fancy you are.
All I'm just saying is, it's just like, can you
Oh, look at
an intellectual anime convention? Can you think of anything more stupid?
The Galaxy Brain Anime Convention.
From what I heard about that convention is that it was nothing but college parties anyway. So, yeah.
The fact that that's the thing. The anime convention for college students, for intellectuals. It's just, I can't think of two things that have less to do with each other.
And I'll tell you right now, as somebody who was entrenched in academia for 7 years, a college student and intellectual, there's not a lot of overlap over there. There's
Nope.
a lot of overlap with people who think that they're both.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of overlap. I remember taking sociology, and literally the first reading assignment we were given on the first day of class was the Communist Manifesto.
Jesus.
And I remember thinking to myself, teacher, you played your hand too early. You gotta creep in the propaganda slowly. What are you doing?
I think at that point she was assuming high school did most of the work.
Well, this is
Okay.
Texas, so not really. At least not in my
Maybe-
district.
Oh my god.
But maybe in Austin.
Well, this wasn't Austin. This was very much.
Yeah. I knew someone who went to an Austin school and drank the Kool-Aid. Holy crap! She is the biggest SJW ever.
I just appreciate how Lenore is able to stand living in Austin.
I
and
assume
is-
she wears a hazmat suit whenever she goes outside. Like I just envision her like, I gotta go to the store to get groceries.
No, that's only if
Opens
you
the
live
chamber
in.
door to her apartment and just goes out and is bombarded with like, have you seen the extended cut of this independent French art house film. It's really good.
I mean, for one, Lenore's politics are different from mine. I would definitely, if I had to nail her down, she's more center left, but it's just
That's
more
kind
she
of
doesn't. She
that's
by
kind
and
If she's,
That's kinda
yeah,
where
I mean,
I
I gleaned that from her posts and stuff, but like center left at this point is like you're still a Nazi.
I guess, but
Apparently.
it's just more like I would say by and large, Lenore just doesn't care.
Yeah, I'm pretty much where Lenore's at politically.
Just
I don't even know anymore. Uh,
Left and right are starting to blur so much. Getting back onto the subject of comics, though.
yeah, but yeah, sure, yes. I got nothing. Yeah,
This is why I miss Dan, because I feel like he kind of keeps us in
he
line.
does. This is the weird. That's what's messed up because Dan is honestly the best speaker.
Okay, we could show off some of my concept art for Roses and Blood.
Did they get? Don't
Oh,
think
you want me to?
Matt and I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Oh well, crap.
Boom, 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 boom.
Ba 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 ba.
Come on, no whammies, no whammies. If there's any boomers listening to this, they'll actually know what I mean by that.
Hey, I get it. Does that make me a boomer?
Maybe. Maybe you and I are honorary boomers.
My criteria for boomer is you just have to be older than me.
I don't know why I found it so funny.
And I turned 29 tomorrow.
So,
crap! I gotta draw you
rip.
something, dude. Holy crap!
hey Dylan,
Yeah.
give me your concept art so that next week I can have it ready for the stream.
Okie dokie.
Did any of you guys see Hazbin Hotel? I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, I haven't, and I can't really say I'm interested in it. But like this, one thing I've noticed about Hazbin Hotel, and Alabaster is probably gonna know what I'm talking about because I tweeted about this. There was this one guy having a really bad take on it, saying that it was another Tumblr art style cartoon, and I'm like saying, no, dude. If you actually look at it, this thing has more in common, at least aesthetically speaking, with the Beetlejuice cartoon. Like,
Yeah, I remember that show. I think it was made a little bit before I was born, but like, syndication is a wonderful thing. I understand. I almost want to come to his defense and say that it is a style of art that I definitely know I saw a lot on Tumblr.
at one
But
point,
it's not the Tumblr art style, if you know what I mean.
And you
okay,
know,
was it more like a style that was popular at one time?
I don't know if it was popular at any particular time, but I know just a lot of artists, independent artists over here in the West, had that very kind of creative, kind of stretching what you could do with what's a relatively simplistic art form. It's not like a very complex.
And the vibe I just get off Hazbin Hotel is like whoever makes this, like they're a very big devotee of Tim Burton because it really looks like it's trying to emulate his.
There were a lot of striped socks, yes.
Oh, and I do believe that the creator actually isn't like an SJW like at all. I believe the creator has gone off on SJWs. Don't quote me on that.
I mean,
but
she talks
somebody-
about
will.
representation and stuff, but she's not going to violently go after you because you have a different opinion. And she okay, this is going to sound weird. It's very much not a show for children. It is not appropriate for children at all, but it's wholesome.
Okay,
And you
okay,
just
let's put
have
it
to
this
see
way.
it to know what I mean by that.
Are we talking bad language or really adult jokes?
Yes.
Both. Like what Dylan said, yes. but it's still wholesome. It's a very optimistic show. In spite of how it's dark humor, but with an optimistic worldview.
Like if you just like look at it surface level, like it'll look like this edgy kind of thing. Like if you just like look at it from the trailers, but yeah, I get it. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I'll have to.
I'm split between Angel Dust or Alastor being my favorite character right now.
Now here's a question. Now, like I said, I said that aesthetically, it looks like it's very much inspired by Tim Burton. How about now, as far as the writing goes? I had one person on Twitter say he kind of got like a Billy and Mandy vibe off of it.
I didn't really get like a Billy and Mandy vibe. I think it has more in common with. What am I looking for?
Kind of made me think of Villainous.
Sitcoms. And definitely the pacing of like the delivery of lines and everything was very, very quick. To the point where where it kind of seemed like you can tell it's not like a fully professional grade thing. There were some parts where the animation and just angles seemed kind of like this is something that was
off.
Yeah, not bad necessarily, but off. But it's still done with effort shines through. The effort definitely shines through.
Actually, now that I think about it, even Salem said to me that he kind of got a bit of a Beetlejuice vibe off it.
I wonder if the Angel Dust character's name was a reference to what was it called?
Angel Dust, isn't that like another
Disco
name
Godfather.
for?
Yeah.
No. Angel Dust is it's a name for. I think it's another name for PCP.
I think it was a nickname for cocaine, but
Angel. Yeah, PCP, also known as Angel Dust.
Oh, I thought it was a reference to Disco Godfather because I think that's where that term first popped. It was a blaxploitation film starring Rudy Ray Moore.
I don't know. I almost hear.
There's this one point in the film where he walks into like a warehouse or something. Is like, "What do you do here?" He's like, "Oh, Angel Dust." Like, Angel Dust. He just starts punching people in the face because he's like threatening people in the streets. But it was like this bad new drug that they had developed. It was like a super cocaine or something.
Yeah, Angel Dust is PCP.
Ah.
And it is completely a real thing.
I just
think
figured
there was
it was cocaine because when you cut up cocaine, it looks like dust. Well, white dust.
So does PCP. So does PCP.
Oh, I thought you took PCP in pill form.
You can take it in powder too.
You can
You can snort. You can snort PCP. You can even shoot that shit up.
You can take it anally. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm sure you probably can though, because I know you can take vodka. You can take.
Gorgonite says other members.
I'm not sure how to feel about that.
Are we still talking about the show?
Yeah, we're talking about Has Been Hotel. So apparently, Angel Dust's family is all their names are a reference to some kind of street drug.
I haven't read through the wiki. His family isn't really brought up in the thing. There's like a wiki that explains more of the characters' backstories, which I'm sure they've been working on this for years. And this is just the pilot, and they're hoping that they can get picked up by somebody, maybe. I really hope they do because it is really incredible. I just fell in love with it.
Oh, look at this! Guess what Angel Dust's cause of death was?
Overdose.
Overdose of drugs.
Yeah. Although to be honest, I didn't notice it until looking through the wiki. Is like apparently he's a spider demon, and you look at the design, like, oh, okay, I see it. At the time, I just thought, weird looking guy.
Oh, look at this! Like, here's what he has a twin sister named Molly.
Poppin' Molly. Wee.
His dad is named Henroin, and it's spelled like, take the N out, spells heroin.
Yeah, I don't like that name as much.
And I'm almost guaranteed Cherry Bomb is some kind of name for another drug.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I know cherry bomb is like an actual thing, and her like modus operandi is to use bombs. So I think that's a bit more straightforward with her.
I'm gonna look it up to see if Cherry Bomb is a name for a drug. Or not.
I love how optimistic the main character is, though.
Although the Cherry Bomb is the name of a band.
Right.
I think it's also the name of a prank where you put like a small, like, safe-ish explosive in a toilet that goes off when you flush it or something. I don't know where
Maybe?
I know that
I
from.
don't know. Oh, he has an older brother named Arachnes.
Will you stop licking the furniture?
You know, it's weird.
Jesus.
I never... I don't know how I know some of these things because I never had, like, you know, pyro phase or anything, which always, like, bothered me. It's like, oh, this was back during my pyro phase. Ah, yes, the pyro phase, a normal part of childhood development that virtually everyone has and is not some sort of weird deviant behavior.
We're definitely not judging.
Yeah. By the way, does anyone know what Molly is another name for?
It is a drug. I don't know which drug it is, though.
Ecstasy.
I don't do drug.
Might also reference her personality and cheery appearance, as ecstasy causes users to feel immense emotional pleasure, energy, empathy, and altered sensations.
Cool. I'm just kidding.
What does PCP do? Oh, in fact, it says Angel actually named himself after it because he died from overdosing on Angel Dust. Of course he did.
One of the first jokes in it is he goes to like a vending machine and chooses Angel Dust from it. I think because you know in hell, why wouldn't they have a vending machine for drugs? And he takes this little bag and it's very clearly like in a condom. Like the vending machine actually plops it out like in a little condom as a bag, and he takes it and some dude steals it from him, and then like a car lands on him and just crushes and kills him instantly. And Angel just like, oh my gosh, you know. And the joke, of course, he's not actually caring about the guy's safety. He's like, my drugs.
Yeah, I saw that. My drugs.
What can you do? I can suck your dick. No.
Kind of reminds. Oh man, Matt, it kind of reminds me of that one Mythoverse chibi strip where Adobe tried assassinating Kate, and but the bullet got stopped by her cigarettes, and and Kate was more pissed off that her cigarettes were destroyed.
Oh my gosh! I remember when I was working as a cashier at insert company name here. So anyway, this woman comes in, and she's like all sweaty and disheveled and panting and
Giggity.
and she's just like really haggard. And she with this kind of like manic look in her eyes, she's like, listen, I just need a pack of your cheapest cigarettes. Ma'am, we don't sell cigarettes here. And she has this look of like utter despair on her face, like, you're kidding. Like, she looked like a crack addict. It was sad and hilarious at the same time.
Somebody really needed a smoke that day.
Yeah, you know, I'm assuming she was going through nicotine withdrawal. Thus the sweatiness and you know, haggard, whatever.
Mhm.
But I just find it really bizarre when people who smoke, kind of like talk shit about people who do drugs, and I'm like, do you really want to make that? But whatever. So, what do you think? This. How do you think? I know they've released some details, and I don't remember what they are. But what do you think this new DC reboot's going to look like?
Woke.
No, I'd have to say it'd probably be more uninspired because it's what Brian Michael Bendis working on most of the titles.
Sounds fair. Although although Brian Edward Hill seems like he can at least churn out a reliable book.
He just can't.
That's true.
Well,
Just,
you're not trying to churn out a book; you're trying to churn out a comic book.
I know, but it's just but like
Zing.
everything. Yes, but I've heard nothing but good things so far about every comic that Brian Edward Hill's been attached to.
Not familiar with that dude's name, but I'll check it out.
he wrote the Titans TV show. He's done, and
Like,
He's also
Titans?
yeah.
He
Okay.
also
look,
did Ash vs. Evil Dead.
yes, and he's currently working on Batman and the Outsiders.
oh, nice.
And I've heard nothing but good things about that book.
That would be a pretty cool movie, Batman and the Outsiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially considering that the Outsiders are made up of a lot of B-listers too.
Oh wait, is this not connected to the Outsiders from the beloved young adult novel way back when?
That's
No,
actually, that's actually my brother's favorite book.
the Outsiders is a DC team made up of B-listers.
Oh, so they're not.
Like, I think-
greasers? They don't wear leather
No.
jackets and put grease in their hair.
No.
They say "daddy-o" and oh.
Well, for one, I think if I remember correctly, Katana was a member of the Outsiders.
I liked
Right.
Katana in the movie.
Are you talking about Suicide Squad?
Yeah, the bar scene. I really enjoyed that scene where they're just kind of like bonding, and kind of talking about how everybody kind of thinks they're just losers. In terms of like the bad decisions they've made. It's like they have like no confidence in them, and they basically just send them there, to die. That's the name, Suicide Squad. And it's like, you know what? We're gonna show them that God damn it, we're super jackasses. Not necessarily super villains at this point anymore. They're just super jackasses, and we can accomplish this mission.
By the way, I'm looking at the roll call for them, and it's like, and I think the current team right now is Black Lightning, Metamorpho, Geoforce, Katana, and Halo. Oh wait, no. July 2018, Detective Comics arc On the Outside had Batman and Black Lightning come together to defeat a villain known as Karma. In the aftermath of the battle, Batman told Black Lightning he wanted him to lead a new team of outsiders consisting of himself, Cassandra Cain, Duke Thomas, and Katana.
No, I think maybe I should jock it. I'm not thinking about it.
Dylan,
no.
You would have fun with it. I know that.
Like Dylan, no.
Actually, Dylan, yes, please.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's the first time he's ever heard that.
I don't know how to function right now.
I think that's the reason why he did it.
I think I'll give her the leotard treatment like I gave Super Bar.
Oh, come on. Katana's got an awesome costume already.
I know. I was gonna give her the skimpy treatment. But okay. Just gonna make her thick.
I'm pretty sure you would not be the first.
Yeah, I did one with like an adult version of Miraculous Ladybug.
Yeah, we know.
Yes, we know.
Dylan,
No,
why
that's
do you
actually.
gotta why do
Oh,
you gotta destroy the childhoods of French kids?
Here's something. She's got a geisha outfit too.
Noise.
So you've got a couple options. You got her spandex. You got the outfit she had in Suicide Squad, and one that looks kind of samurai-esque, and geisha.
Right.
Ooh. Oh no. Oh, I just had an idea.
Hey,
What?
You know what I would really like to do a voice for Radio Mythologica?
Mhm.
Excuse me. Is that what it's called? I keep
Nar-
getting the name wrong. I'm so
Narrative,
sorry.
Narratus
Narrative
Mythologica.
Mythologica.
Yeah.
Like a first-person film noir
Oh.
sort of thing.
by the way, Dylan, Neostar, I seconds the Dylan yes.
Dylan, no. Dylan, yes. We're just gonna have our own memes of people somersaulting backwards out of windows with an arrow that says Dylan.
Pretty much.
I'm in high demand right
Calm down, it's only 2.
Matt, you might want to You might want to back away from your mic a little. I think you're a little too close to it.
Alright.
Oh.
Yeah.
This pupper wants to join the chat.
Yes, he does.
No, he's just dying.
Well, you might as well get him to the vet.
He's too old for surgery.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because he's like 10 years old.
And
Yeah,
there
he's
we go, again, the bummer.
And he's like super fat and like I try to get him to go, like he's like in the way, like going down the hallway because we have a narrow hallway, so I like kind of or when I'm trying to get him out the door, like go, and then I wait forever for him to come back in because he just kind of waddles away.
I was like raised by our family's first dog. Now that probably explains a lot. But he never
So
pups of his own.
so the DC reboot is probably going to be like a lot of really kind of lame books and a few good ones.
Pretty much.
I really want them to. They're not going to, but I really want them to avoid like having multiple series with the same characters going on at the same time.
So is this just like another like reboot, or is it like what the DC Rebirth was to the New 52, where it's like a kind of a soft reboot?
Fuck if I know. I don't really pay attention to what the big two do anymore.
I guess Marvel needs to reboot, like after they clean house.
Marvel's chance to really make money with their comics division is kind of come and gone.
I don't know, I think
Movies.
I think they might have a chance to make a profit again with Kevin Feige. Simply because he'll make the comics just like the movies.
Okay,
Well,
but
yeah, that would have been the what I'm
apparently
saying
they're
is
also getting a Japanese artist to come in and do their comics.
Are you talking about C.B. Sapolsky?
No, I'm talking about like legitimate, like they're having like bringing in like Japanese artists and writers and stuff to. I mean, I'd be down for that because they don't shove They tend not to shove politics down our throats. Ugh.
Well, that's because they prefer making money.
Right. Alright, you know how there's a mytho...
That's a what?
Huh?
You cut out right after you said mytho.
Mytho chibis?
Yeah.
If you're gonna, are you asking about whether or not a printed collection is in the future?
No, no, I was gonna say maybe there should be a manga, like a manga verse for the Mythoverse. Well, I mean, Changeling is kind of like a manga. I'm kinda, yeah. All right, at least
No,
that's a style,
I
but I'm
definitely
talking
get a
like,
lot of that vibe from it.
yeah, I'm talking like full blown like read from right to left.
yeah,
That's not gonna happen.
not in the near, yeah, not in the definitely not in the near future, or probably not even in the far future.
What
Like,
about in the grim dark future?
Uh, I'd totally be down for making like little stories where it's like all manga.
Well, Gorgonite just named the Mangaverse Mythoweaves.
Mythoweaves, yes.
I don't know. I mean, like, how much? I mean, like, how? Like I said, about the only way Changeling can get more weebish than it is now is to just completely embrace the manga aesthetic.
Oh, Gorgonite's been talking shit about weaves, but he has a ninja character.
Yeah, he's one to when it shows how he's one to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Gorgonite, you have officially lost all bashing weeb privileges.
Changeling is gonna go like full shonen.
He says for a good reason.
Doesn't matter. You have forfeited your right to bash weebs. Man, Neostar says I also really love the Terrifics comics. It's the closest thing I've got to the Fantastic Four. Now that I think about it, Marvel hasn't done shit with the Fantastic Four in years.
Well, you know why.
Was it because of that last movie bombing?
No, it's because they were upset over the fact that Fox isn't giving them up, so they weren't going to make comics for the characters that are under the movie rights of Fox.
Well, now that they bought Fox's, now that Disney got their hands on Fox, does that mean they're going to start putting in Fantastic Four books out again?
Yep, and that was also another reason why they put in place a policy against making more mutants.
Right.
Marvel is a very vindictive company if you don't do what they tell you to do.
Gosh, it's almost like they're owned by Disney or something.
You know, something I at least want to point. There's something I at least want to get everyone's opinion on. As much as I like a lot of the X-Men characters, does anyone kind of find the whole mutant origin kind of lazy? And I don't mean the origin of the mutants as a species. I just mean the idea that they're just born with their powers.
It's an interesting thing to play with as far as their place in society goes. But like the origin story itself, yeah, because there's no real meat to why does this person have this power? You know, you would kind of want it to like you would want the origin of their power to relate to what that power is. But with mutants, they don't. It's just they were born with the X gene.
Okay,
That's it.
So one thing I've been thinking about: the X-Men existing in the same universe as all the other superheroes. Isn't that just like a huge like contradiction? Like, oh, people hate the X-Men because they have powers and they're weird, but oh no, they love the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. Like the X-Men don't make sense in the Marvel universe.
Well, Well,
I mean, honest,
it's more along
honestly,
lines of. Oh God, sorry.
I mean, honestly, I think the X-Men should exist independently from the Marvel universe. Like,
Like
uh,
the like the okay, so like the whole like at least the concept behind him, like using them as like a metaphor for just basic prejudice. I mean, yeah, that's an interesting idea. Although I still think like using mutants as a metaphor for racism, like once you start thinking about it really hard, that whole premise kind of falls apart because as much as it isn't their fault, mutants by their very nature are just dangerous.
I'm just going to
So,
point out one thing. The
like,
reason why the population doesn't distrust the heroes like the Avengers is because some of them don't have powers and rely on technology. Some of them were given powers like Captain America because of a super soldier serum, or they were never born with their powers.
mhm.
So they seem to be more accepted. And then there's Spider-Man was who is not born into his powers but distrusted because of a certain editor.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, the point kind of remains though. If you're going to if you're using mutants as a metaphor for racism, I'm sorry to say, but humans are right to be distrustful of them.
Actually, you know something? Stanley never said what they were supposed to be about.
yeah, if you actually look at like the original,
I feel
like,
like there's there should be a list of like, here's people who could kill everyone around them in the blink of an eye.
Hmm.
Just so people could decide for themselves whether they want to be in like a 5 mile radius. Or...
Yeah, I mean, like, let's be honest. That scene, like the scene of the first movie where they're trying to pass that Mutant Registration Act in the real world, that would have overwhelming support from the public. Like, you would be hard pressed to find.
Was a mutant.
I'm sorry, but if mutants were real, there would be mutant lives wouldn't matter.
Honestly, I don't think it'd be that clean cut because there will be people who will debate over it because it is people regulating human lives.
Yeah, but these are people who like just like let's just say like a mutant, like say just for example, you got Cyclops. His powers activate at an inopportune moment, and he could potentially actually not only cause property damage, but injure and possibly even kill people without even meaning to.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that you're never going to have that whole unanimous approval because people.
I didn't say
people.
unanimous. I wouldn't say I didn't say unanimous. Just overwhelming support, like vast majority. Like you would be hard pressed to find someone actually sticking up for mutants, and if they do, I'd hate to say they'd be shouted down pretty quickly. Like that is just how flimsy that metaphor is.
Yeah, but I think you're overthinking it, honestly.
I know, but I'm just I'm just saying though that I'm not really sure like how I get where it's coming from, and it's not that I necessarily disagree with it. It's just that it's just that when you think about it hard, you kind of realize just how it doesn't stand up to scrutiny.
Yeah, but this is also the same universe where people can go. There's a area of space where people can go, and they're able to breathe air.
I know.
yeah, that's why I feel. Yeah, like I said, I feel like the X-Men should be its own separate thing and shouldn't be even a part of, you know, the bigger Marvel universe. Honestly,
Mhm.
just I know that might be a controversial statement, but I just feel like the X-Men doesn't work with the rest of the Marvel universe.
Mhm.
I think it should stay its own, like, kind of separate thing.
Well, I don't think any series is its own separate thing nowadays because they are pushing for more integration with each series.
And
So,
the one thing that I kind of really hate about Marvel, I think Marvel's more guilty of this than DC is that how like homogenized everything has become. And it's like, let me put it this way: like, what's an example? Avengers show up in a Spider-Man book, and it's like, oh, Avengers are in a Spider-Man book. There was a time when crossovers meant something.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, have you ever kind of noticed how cliquish the superhero community actually is in Marvel? It's like everyone knows each other.
everyone's basically an Avenger at this by now.
Oh, and by the way, is in the chat.
Hey, Yoda.
Howdy. I was waiting for an appropriate time to introduce myself. How's it going?
Mm-hmm.
Get out. Still
No.
not your time.
By the way, when's Gorgonite gonna get in the Discord, man? Come on, it's been what, 6 months, 7 months
Well,
now?
maybe if he stopped being a weeb.
Hi, Neostar.
Fucking weeb.
Was that directed at Brett or Gorgonite or both?
Gorgonite.
Oh,
Because
no.
he admitted to being one in the chat.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I would not consider myself a weeb, but I do not have an intense hatred of weebs. Just mild discomfort. Gorgonite responds,
but
says
yeah.
the weebs.
But yeah, bring it.
Why do I make you uncomfortable, Yoda?
Why do you
Bring
think?
Okay, bringing things back to where I was, bringing things back to my train of thought about how the Marvel superhero community is just so fucking cliquish. Like everyone knows it. Everyone knows each other. It's like I almost kind of want the Mythoverse to sidestep that. No, I don't almost want to. I, in fact, completely want the Mythoverse to sidestep that because I almost feel like Matt and I should probably write into the rules doc that unless the story can't can't function without it, keep crossovers to a bare minimum.
I
Like,
mean,
almost.
It happens in special events.
Hey, Neostar, you should probably ask Gorgonite about the ninja.
Gorgonite says a solid third of Marvel's heroes operate in New York.
Well, yeah, it's because Marvel was based in New York, and it's like they wanted to. I get, write what you know. I understand that, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we're in a good spot from what I've discussed with other creators in the Mythoverse to of crossover stuff. Like I know my series is going to be really self-contained. Like I don't plan on there's early on there's going to be a couple of tie-ins to the Adobe Kroger novel, and like that's it.
Yeah, but they're more
For
like
a
Easter
while.
eggs.
Yeah. I mean, they serve a story purpose, but yeah, they'll be largely Easter eggs. Gorgonite says, way to kneecap my story, Brett.
Well, there's
It's for your own. It's for your own good, Gorgonite.
You say as you hold a gun to his head.
He's only here to help.
Is that why he's not in the Discord either? It's for his own good.
There was a series that I read like one entry in called Bruce Wayne Fugitive, and they did eventually release a trade paperback of it. But I'm looking through the list. So in order to follow this story before the trade paperback came out, you had to read at least one issue of several of these series: Batman, Detective Comics, Birds of Prey, Batman Gotham Knights, Batgirl, Nightwing, and it looks like one issue of Azrael, Agent of the Bat, which is not included in the trade paperback. So you needed to be following like multiple series at the same time just to follow one Batman story. That's a ridiculous amount of reading to ask of somebody for one storyline.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I would almost like if I used Adobe and Althea and Changeling, I'd keep it to like cameos at most.
And
I
even
mean,
then,
about as-
probably just cameos of people that are within, their circle. Like in Changeling, you see a Paladin, maybe not necessarily Adobe.
Possibly, but honestly, I think about the closest Changeling gets within 9 miles of that is just having Regina as a recurring character.
right.
Oh, that's gonna be more than a one-off thing.
I
Nope.
I
think
thought
for
you
me,
writing Regina was one-off.
yeah, I think,
It's not. It's not. Like I had Brian's blessing to use her as a side character.
Cool.
I think for me, my story, like I'm talking like down the road, like the second arc. I think mine would probably be the closest one to kind of incorporate, like other, stories. But that's like major spoiler territory.
And then don't go into it. Still, though, I mean, like, well, I put it. I mean, I'm not against other titles being able to reference stuff like the Paladins, the Mythics.
Yeah, it's a
Exchange
shared universe.
Yeah, they should be able to. It's just more specific characters because then, like I said, it's like because then you get into that thing with that trap that Marvel fell into. Like I said, like it's one thing to reference that the Avengers exist in a Spider-Man book. It's another thing to have Peter Parker hanging out with Captain America and Iron Man like it's just like it's a normal thing.
Right. It just feels like every superhero, they just know each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and realistically, that wouldn't be the case. Like, if we want to be realistic about it, like,
Yeah.
Realistically,
especially
I mean-
considering for most of his career, Spider-Man's been a street level hero.
yeah, realistically, Spider-Man wouldn't even know a Star-Lord. I mean, I mean, yeah, they made it work in the movies, but yeah, like he wouldn't even know like. He probably would have an idea about Thanos because he's a bigger threat, but
And hell, Spider-Man, I think, was an Infinity Gauntlet, wasn't he?
Yes. Oh. I think he was one of those heroes that disappeared.
I'm not talking.
What's name?
I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the.
No, I'm talking about.
comic.
I'm talking about the comic.
Fuck. Oh shit! Did I forget? Did I forget about
I'll
that?
look it up.
I've got the trade paper back in my room. Neil Star says I could at least buy that Spider-Man knows or hangs out with the Fantastic Four occasionally. Well, I mean, I could. Yeah, actually, I think isn't Peter supposed to be friends with Johnny?
Yep.
Well, because the first issue of the Amazing Spider-Man after the Amazing Fantasy 15.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He tries to join the Fantastic Four, and they're like, we don't hire anyone, and he's like, whatever, loser, and he leave. Yeah, I think that's like, what's amazing about that first issue is that, Uncle Ben's death actually hits hard because you see Aunt May pawning off jewelry. Like that's like the first issue after Uncle Ben dies. Like,
Good God.
and Peter's looking for a job. That's like immediately after. So, so that's what I really like about classic Spider-Man is that, yeah, it can be hokey at times, but it gets like the story beats right.
Gorgonite says my character's profession relies on knowing people, and that's not to say exceptions don't exist. It's just like I don't want to rely on. I don't want people becoming like maybe not rely, just overusing them, because then, like I said, then it makes like the character's individual space seem less special. So, in my opinion, like. I don't know. I don't know. Like I just really just don't like the route that Marvel went down with that. Is all.
Right.
Like they practically make the superhero community seem like Hollywood.
Well, here's the thing: you don't have to make crossover 7 all the time. It's just when it feels right.
Well,
Let me
actually,
say-
Marvel has been doing a fairly decent job or is it DC? I think maybe both of them, where they've had superheroes hang out with just like a group of like normal people, but they always seem to hang out at Thai food restaurants almost exclusively.
I think Mark Millar pokes fun at with Super's Legacy, where you have this woman who wants to be a superhero, goes to the son of that world's version of Superman, and he tells her that he can only help her if she has sex with him.
That reminds me of a scene in The Boys. Yeah, this chick who's looking to join the Seven, which is the Boys' version of the Justice League, essentially. Like she's being considered as a prospect member.
Oh yeah.
Well,
then they're like the Hollywood thing, like get on that couch. You want to be don't you?
That is exactly what happens. She gets taken aside by Homelander, and she's like, and she's completely starstruck, like, oh my god, I can't believe this is actually happening. I've looked up to you guys for so long. And then Homelander drops his pants and says, suck it.
Yep. Another thing I've noticed with Super's Legacy was that
That's
the
how you get a job
superheroes.
at Funimation, guys. That's how you
Yeah,
get a
well-
job at Funimation.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
According
yeah, well,
to
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. It's like after he drops his pants, she's like looking at she's like, wait, what? And he says like, you want to be in the Seven? Suck it. So yeah, Alabaster was completely on the money when he said it's casting couch.
Yep. So we're coming on to the 2-hour mark.
Oh yeah, next week we're gonna watch Blade Runner, right?
Oh yeah.
I bought some ramen noodles to make just for the occasion. Hopefully it's raining so I can take my laptop outside and ruin it.
You're not
Okay,
gonna actually
so,
do that.
I've never seen Blade Runner. Is there some reference here I'm supposed to be getting?
No.
One of the first scenes.
Just
it's
ramen
raining.
for the sake of ramen?
No. He actually goes to like a noodle bar and gets to eat noodles for all of 5 seconds before being dragged back to the precinct.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I dropped
Aside
a
from
clip of it in Mythoverse Diner.
Ooh yeah. Oh yeah, it's because my brother posted a bowl of ramen he made himself. Yeah, he posted a picture of some ramen, some homemade ramen my brother made, and then I think Alabaster posted a Blade Runner gif.
Right, yeah.
You should definitely read the book because it's very different.
Yeah, I
And
know it. I know it is actually. Like
Yeah.
for
Jesus Christ, I didn't. If you told me like a year ago, it's like you're gonna read this book and it's gonna end with a dude climbing up a small hill and finding a fake frog, and it's gonna be the most riveting thing you've ever read, I would have told you were a liar. But there's so much tension on that scene. I mean, it's not my favorite book, but that particular scene was just like, I was like gripping my phone because I was reading it on my phone.
You know, when I was in school, I read To Kill a Mockingbird, and then I watched the movie for the first time. I'm like, what the hell? There's like so much. Like, I mean, yeah, I get it. Movies cut things out, but I'm like, what the hell?
well, not just that. I mean, not just that. I mean, like the fuck. I mean, aside from a few things, the story of Blade Runner and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep are they're wildly different. They have different goals in mind. For one,
Yeah, the androids are very, very much the bad guys in Do Androids, whereas they're a lot more sympathetic in Blade Runner. I don't want to spoil too much for it if you haven't seen it, but it's worth reading. Like, I know I have this one friend that says, "Oh, I'm not going to bother reading Lord of the Rings because I've seen the movies," and that
well, you're missing out on a whole. You're missing out by the movies.
Yeah. This one, you're just straight up not getting the same story. So you definitely should read the book because it's not a repeat of what you may have seen in the movie.
Pretty much. I mean, actually, if you ever want to see something where the book and the movie so fucking different, you can't believe they even the same thing. Troopers.
I've heard that's like
that's
the
because-
original novel was very
A lot more serious in tone.
yeah, a lot more serious, but it was also like not pro-fascist, but like something that the movie might deem fascist, if that makes sense. Because like my
It's
understanding
more
is
like not quite, not so much. The novel. Fuck, how did I'm blanking on his name.
Robert A. Heinlein.
Robert Heinlein. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Robert Heinlein wrote the novel more as like because he had a military background. So he wanted something that was kind of a send up to his time in the military and the values he took from it. Whereas the movie was aiming to be kind of a satire of what was at the time current day politics.
Or rather, the director's view of politics. He opened the book and then like read a chapter or two and decided this guy's a fascist. Fuck him.
Well, it was made by a Dutch guy. Keep that in mind. And Matt is reminding me that we are now coming up on our 2-hour mark. So, all right.
Yeah.
What happens at the 2-hour mark?
Well, we usually end this around that time because Dan has to work.
This is when the orgies happen. I'm just kidding.
Okay, can I just start?
Sorry.
That's right.
Okay,
So yeah, we don't want to make it any longer than we have to because we don't want to have any expectations of it going longer when Dan's here as well.
Mm-hmm. I'll just say, keep your eyes out for the Mythoverse physicals. Earliest we can expect December, guys. And if you're an artist and if you're an artist and you're interested, please consider entering our holiday greeting card art contest. But have your submission in by the 26th of November. I will be making a formal announcement on the Mythoverse Twitter after we end the show. So, that in mind, We will see you guys
Hold
next
on.
Tuesday.
So, does anyone have anything to plug first before we go?
Yes.
I guess there's my book, Roses of Blood. It's I've updated the plot quite a bit. It's no longer like this story about this vampire girl being hunted by monsters. It's a revenge story against her brother, and it now has two protagonists. One is an American soldier. But going too deep into a story will be very
Spoilery.
very
Yeah.
spoilery.
I guess if we're announcing stuff like that, keep an eye out for my announcements regarding my contribution to the Mythoverse, Spear of Ikea. Don't really have any announcements other than that it exists.
Spirit of IKEA. I'm just kidding.
No,
Wow.
IKEA, IKEA. You know,
Dylan,
one of
no.
the old names for Greece.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Dylan, no.
If you guys got any, if you guys got any social media to plug, now's the time because Gorgon's doing that in the chat right now.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, you can follow me at jam_stern.
On Instagram, let me load it. Jesus Christ. You can follow me at Dylan R Fagan, DYLAN R FAGAN.
You can find me, Alabaster Scarf, at alabaster_scarf, where you may get to see my art, but probably you'll just see me give unsolicited political opinion.
As if there's any other kind.
Fair.
Yeah, and you'll find my art full of thick women.
Is there any other kind for you, Dylan?
There's muscular women.
All right. Alabaster, you already went, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it looks like Gorgonite hit up all the, except for Dylan's Instagram, he got all the Twitters.
Yeah, I used to be on Twitter, but it's not worth the trouble. It's crazy on there.
Yeah, Doug Staple quit too.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I sacrificed a pretty large audience, but leaving Twitter, but
Yeah, you kept your sanity, so
Yep.
I think it bounces out.
Right. Man, I had a pretty big audience when I was on Twitter, though.
Alright, well, we will see you guys next week, same time.
Yep. See you guys later.